I were to ask you, what are your faults? What would your answer be? Would you say, I have none? Would you be able to answer that question? Or would it be a struggle for you? Even though you may defend yourself, because most people defend their person when in the face of conflict or accusations, when you are having a quiet moment, can you admit to yourself what your faults are? And I ask you that because I want to be fair. Do you find that people with borderline personality disorder struggle to admit their faults? Their reason for not admitting faults may be totally different from why you don't admit your faults. So you might not admit your faults because you are ashamed, because you don't want to do something wrong. But why would a borderline not want to admit their faults? I think there are multiple reasons, and some are quite complex. But I think the number one reason why you wouldn't admit your faults is because a borderline doesn't want to be left. If they say, yes, I did something wrong, I did something bad, then that might increase the chance that you would leave them, that you wouldn't want to be with them anymore. When you have a friend who admits their faults, what is your natural reaction to that? If they've done something wrong or they've hurt your feelings in some kind of way, if they admit the fault, does that prompt you to think of them as a better person? Or does it change how you think of them and you feel like, I'm out, I don't want to be friends with you anymore? You see, could they be correct in their thinking? Like, if I say I did something wrong, is this person going to be done with our friendship or our relationship? So I think that's one reason they don't admit faults. I think number two, I think they dissociate. So dissociate means that you kind of leave yourself mentally for a while. You may not remember what you did or what happened for a period of time. It's like a self-protection mechanism that can protect you from things or traumas that you went through. So they may disassociate. I have worked with kids who I believe were disassociating because the other kids would say, you did this, you did that, and they would swear up and down, no, I didn't. I wasn't making faces at you. I didn't roll my eyes at you. I didn't say anything smart to you. And they would just be like, you are so terrible. Yes, you did. But I really think that the kid was disassociating, especially if you could see other borderline tendencies. I think they were being honest. I don't think that they remembered. And then third of all, if you have identity issues, if your self was not fully developed because you didn't bond properly with a caregiver and you didn't develop a sense of self, then how can you totally take ownership of what you do? There are some borderlines who speak in third person. They will say, she did this or she did that, or Daphne did this, or Daphne, what were you thinking, Daphne? Or she looks good today, you guys. Instead of, I like my outfit. I like how I look. She looks good, referring to the self. So you may struggle with taking ownership of things if you don't have a clear understanding of who you are. And if you're not a borderline, it will be difficult for you to understand that concept. But for them, it's a very real and confusing thing. So I'd like to add clarity because I think in clarity there is healing, and we want borderlines to be able to heal. So, and also if you have a family member who has BPD, we want you to be able to cope better. So individuals with borderline personality disorder, BPD, often struggle with admitting faults due to a combination of emotional sensitivity, fear of abandonment, and identity issues. So here are some key reasons why this difficulty arises. Number one, fear of abandonment. Many people with BPD have a deep-seated fear of rejection and abandonment. Admitting faults can feel like exposing vulnerabilities, which might lead to perceived rejection by others. This fear can make it incredibly challenging to acknowledge mistakes, as it threatens their sense of stability in relationships. Two, black and white thinking. This is also called splitting. So BPD is often characterized by dichotomous thinking, where individuals may see things in extremes, perfect versus worthless, for example. So admitting faults might lead them to view themselves as entirely flawed or unworthy, which can be overwhelming and trigger intense emotional responses. Three, emotional dysregulation. Those with BPD frequently experience intense emotions. When faced with the need to acknowledge a mistake, they might become emotionally flooded, leading to anxiety or anger. This emotional turmoil can result in defensiveness or denial rather than acceptance. Four, self-identity issues. Individuals with BPD often struggle with a stable sense of self. Admitting faults can feel like a threat to their already fragile self-concept. They may fear that acknowledging imperfections will further destabilize their identity and self-worth. Five, defense mechanisms. To cope with their emotional pain, individuals with BPD may develop defense mechanisms such as denial or projection. These mechanisms can make it difficult to take responsibility for their actions, as they are often unconsciously trying to protect themselves from emotional distress. Six, interpersonal challenges. Relationships can be tumultuous for those with BPD. Admitting faults may lead to conflict or criticism from others, which they might perceive as a threat to their relationships. As a result, they may avoid taking responsibility to maintain harmony, even if it's temporary. Seven, shame and guilt. Many individuals with BPD experience intense feelings of shame and guilt, which can be paralyzing. Admitting faults can amplify these feelings, leading them to avoid acknowledgement as a means of self-protection. So admitting faults can be particularly challenging for individuals with BPD due to their complex emotional landscape, fear of abandonment, and struggles with identity. Understanding these factors can foster empathy and support for those navigating these difficulties. So, hey, beautiful people, thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and what topics you want me to explore next. Your feedback means so much to me. Let's keep this adventure going. Don't break up with me. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. Check out my books on Amazon for insights on enhancing your love life, navigating narcissistic personalities, and exploring the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Links are in the description. You're amazing, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.